Welcome back to PoPolitickin.com, your home for self-help meets hip-hop. Make sure you go on Spotify, or on Apple Music, Google Play, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, type in PoPolitickin. Listen to my interviews since 2008. 1-2-1-2, I'm in place to be with Jackie's boy. How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. Oh, how you doing?
I'm great, man. I already did some investigative work. So I
Great.
found out it used to be a brother. So just start from the beginning, because I found out it was a brother and it was a team, right? It was two of y'all.
Yeah. We were a writing duo called the Jackie Boys, and
Yeah.
yeah, our vibe was just a little bit of everything. We started out coming out to LA together. We did street performing and kind of worked our way up through the ranks or whatever, and started kind of making our rounds from there. So yeah, my brother actually is out of the business per se. He's kind of doing more of a background thing, but much love to my bro.
Yeah, I saw y'all worked on that song Buzzing, because I interviewed Man
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
I
yeah,
saw,
yeah.
so what
We
you
did.
saying? Did y'all you write the songs? You're a songwriter, like you write everything.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I saw you was working. You did a lot of songs like Madonna. So you saying you wrote all those songs?
Yeah. I worked with Madonna, Chris Brown, Charlie Wilson, Flo-rida, Johnny Gill, New Edition. Man, lot of artists, Ronald Isley. So yeah, I mainly do the top line, which is the songwriting.
So how did you get into the field? Like, just start from your background.
Yeah. Well, originally I'm from Savannah, Georgia. So I started out, always being in love with music and just like falling in love with the way of just how songs are put together. I was always intrigued by how it came to be about. And so I remember my mom always playing, great artists, Roger and Zapp, and like, funk and just all these different artists. So that really kind of caught my wind and caught my spirits of just kind of diving into R&B and just music in general. So I started writing my songs. I wrote my first song at like 8, and it was trash. And then I wanted to,
You don't remember the song?
and
Do you remember it?
man, barely. I think the song was called Just Another One, and it was like about a love triangle, and I was like the girl who the girl liked another guy. It was some crazy stuff, bro. Like I don't even know at 8 years old what was I even thinking about to be writing these deep songs. So I guess it was kind of, meant to be that I would become a singer and a songwriter.
So who are some of your favorite songwriters?
Whew, we could be here all day. I think my ultimate favorite, because they all come in waves, would be Babyface. He's Kenny Evans is just an OG. I mean, really, just the way he puts songs together, and he's been doing it for so many years. So I probably say he's my favorite, and then after that, I probably go to Diane Warren, who's another one of my favorites. Then I probably have to go uh, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, another one of my favorites. Holland Doja Holland, out of the Motown camp back in the day. So, I mean, it's so many. Smokey Robinson, man, be here for days.
So what makes a good song?
Truth. I think truth makes a good song. I think when you write something that's truthful and that connects with people in a way that's undeniable, people feel it. It hit different. I remember I talked to a psychic about 3 or 4 years ago, and she told me, she said, your songs will continue to be successful if you speak truth in your music. And it's been working so far. So I have to say, man, it's truth is really what I think wins.
So like with the songwriting process, is it like you already have the songs and you're giving it to them, or are you in the studio writing the song with them?
It all depends, right? So some artists I've been in the studio working with them, and then some artists, I work on the song, get it over to them, and then they record it. It just really all depends on how busy the artist is sometimes, and then what kind of availability. Like for Chris Brown, I had the privilege of coming out to Orlando with many successful artists, songwriters, and artists too. Pooh Bear, for example, Dre. Dre and Vidal, for example, Cool and Dre as well. So I was out there, and it was got more of a hands-on experience with Chris. But as far as Madonna goes, you know, I wrote the record, you know, submitted the record, and then it took about 3 to 4 months for her people to get back and actually want to record the song.
That's tight.
Yeah. So it all differs.
Yeah, that's cool. I would say, so describe your process when you're writing a song. Like, well, how does it go? Like your creative
Absolutely.
process.
For me, I'm all about melody. I'm a melody guy, and I think that most people who listen to music are melody people. They hear that first before they even go into the lyrics. So I try to make sure that I'm giving you something that can, I guess I call it ear candy, if you will, where, you know, the audience is getting something that's going to be infectious and catchy and sticky, you know what I'm saying? So that when it hits your eardrum, you go, okay, all right, I can hear that melody. I can sing that melody. I can sing back to someone that melody. So I start with doing melody first. And then after that, I'll come out, I'll listen to a bunch of freestyles I've done melodically. And then I'll start to piece the song together the way that I hear it. After that, lyrics are followed by, and then, you know, overall concept after that.
So do you do like rap songs too? You do hip hop?
And I do a little, yeah. I mean, you know.
Ghostwrite? Who you ghostwrite for? I want to know who you ghostwrite for.
Well, this record called Sugar I wrote called by Flo-rida, called Sugar featuring Winter Gordon. You guys can check that out. Also Buzzing, wrote some raps on that as well. Now I don't take all credit for writing all the raps, you know what I'm saying? These talented artists bring something great to the table. I'm just able to help, and, you know, because I, you know, been growing up around hip hop all my life, you know, it's just another part of the tool belt that I have, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I actually, I don't know if you know this guy. I actually just interviewed Merritt. You know him?
That's my big bro, man. That is my big brother.
So I see
yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know what you were saying?
Say that again?
I said what you were saying about him?
Oh, no, I was going to say Andre Merritt is one of the reasons I'm where I'm at right now to this day. Andre was one of the people who I reached out through MySpace, believe it or not. I'm kind of showing my age right now. I reached out to him through MySpace, and we wanted to connect, me and my brother, and said, hey, we'd love for you to give us a shot. And he didn't know me at all from a can of paint, but said, come to the studio. I came to the studio in LA. I played demos for him, and we just connected, and he just stayed in touch with us. And yeah, so he's a big bro. I love him to death, man. He's a great guy.
He's cool. I was actually, the only reason I mentioned his name because I would say you reminded me of him because you're doing the same thing he's doing now. Like he's coming out trying to sing. So I was like, I guess both of y'all feel the same way after a while. Y'all want to start, you know, y'all don't want to do the writing, want to perform more.
Well, I think it's a natural evolution, right? I just think sometimes some people's are quicker than others. But I think that most songwriters have a underlining passion to become artists themselves. And I think you get some of the most successful artists from songwriters. I mean, you look at the history, right? Neo started out as being a songwriter, and, you know, back in the day. I mean, Smokey Robinson wrote songs not only for himself but for other artists. So I think every artist has that kind of thing inside of them that allows them to have more or want to put out more. Sia is another example. So I think, yeah, it's in there. It's just whenever we decide to let it out, and that's when it works.
I'm trying to figure something out. Is there any songwriters that are good dancers? And are any dancers good songwriters? Because like almost like you can't do both. Because I'm trying to think. I don't know too many songwriters that really can dance, and I don't know.
Yo can dance.
No, I was thinking about him, but I was like,
I seen some videos. He can dance. I mean, now when you talk about Chris Brown's a writer, Chris Brown can dance.
Oh, so he writes. I mean, he writes too.
He writes. Like he's not for play. He's like a solidified songwriter. So I probably would say he's our best example.
So then I heard a song you just did with I want to say Guy for Boys and Men, Sean Stockman.
Yeah, Sean Stockman. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what part are you singing? What part is he singing? So one of y'all can sing. I'm trying to figure out who it is.
He is on the second verse, and I'm on the first verse.
Okay, so you can sing. All right.
Yeah,
I was like,
a little bit.
It was sounding good. I was like, damn, it shit sound good. And I was like,
you seem surprised. You're like, oh, okay, you can sing.
I'm like listening to it. I'm like, which one is Boys the Men?
I loved it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That song is really, really. I mean, yeah. I mean, you like I said, actually, I was trying to hit him on the song. That's really good. I like how it had a real good R&B sound to it. So can you talk about?
Thank you, man. I think that song is, to me, is like the perfect combination of classic R&B and modern R&B, and like just came together like an asteroid. You know what I'm saying? Hitting the earth. It's just like one of those things that I think that was meant to happen. And the song is doing very well. I'm so happy to say, you know, it's 23 on the digital charts right now. So it's doing well, and it's showing that people are really receptive to the song. The lyric video just came out today. It's super sexy, so you know, definitely check that out, man. So it's an honor to work with Sean. When I tell you he's an OG, I mean, he's been doing this for many moons, and for him to give a shot like, you know, me a shot, I'm honored. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, I've had, you know, accolades as a writer, but as an artist, it's a whole different playing field. So for him to want to vouch and put his name next to mine as an artist, it means the world, and I'm honored.
So what else are your other projects you're working on with the music? Like,
well, right now I'm really focused on finishing this album. I'm working also on a mixtape dedicated to the Black Lives movement and progression of Black people in this country. So I'm staying pretty busy trying to make sure that I, you know, create music that I love. As far as writing for others, you know, I'm always kind of dipping in and out. I've been working with the rock band named Camila, a Spanish rock band who's been won a bunch of Grammys and very successful. So I'm working on that. I've kind of doing a lot more Spanish stuff at the moment on the writing side. But yeah, just try to stay busy.
So you're bilingual?
A little bit. Mainly, I do melody.
Oh.
Yeah, I do the melody and I do the lyrics, and they translate it. So it's a win-win for me because it allows me to tap into different art and different genre. Like I said, melody is king. You know, when you're able to speak the language of melody in different cultures and different genres of music, you can do anything.
Then what are you talking about? Like, you know, because they might not know. So when you're saying melody, what part are you talking about?
I'm talking about the la 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 melody, just the thing that people can hear before they hear the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? So for me, every R&B has its own, you know, significant melodies, and rock has its own kind of thing, and the Spanish has its own little, like Latin music has its own thing. So, you know, once you can kind of find out what waves makes the most sense and cater to those melodies, that's it.
And then we've been asking a lot of the male R&B singers, what happened to the male R&B groups? Where are they at?
I think the
last one I remember is like Pretty Ricky. I don't know nothing after Pretty Ricky. I think they the last one.
I think that R&B took a nosedive, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that the reason why R&B took a nosedive, and that goes for the R&B groups and the R&B singers, is because we kind of lost the identity of what made us R&B altogether, right? We talk about the culture of hip hop and the preservation of hip hop, but I think along the way we lost the identity of R&B music, and we have to get it back. And I think the generation that is listening to hip hop and R&B have now kind of is more gravitated more towards hip hop than anything. And, you know, hopefully we can be able to kind of change that a little bit to where R&B can stand alone, and people will want to see more groups, want to see more R&B artists at the forefront. I created a music label dedicated to just that. It's called Big Circle Music Group, and it's dedicated to R&B music and bringing it back, you know, to its heyday. Like I said, when I'm not trying to relive a certain area, you know what I'm saying? This ain't make, you know, R&B great again. This is just make R&B stand alone at this point to where it can be able to be deciphered between the two, and not just be bunched up into one.
And then even I remember, I think it was Stephanie Mills talking about this, but I remember, you know, like for a while, it's like the top R&B artists is like Adele, Justin Timberlake. So it's like the white artists are the top artists. And then when you listen to them, they sounded how it used to sound. So it's like they took our sound a little bit, and we sitting there doing the rapping and singing. It's like too much of that going on with R&B now. You don't know. It's not R&B no more. It's too much rap.
It isn't. It isn't. I think there's a huge, it's a huge level of, in my opinion, discrimination. You know, certain radio stations will play a Sam Smith, but won't play a Tyrese. You know what I'm saying? Both have the same song, "Stay With Me," and you know, unfortunate that these major radio stations who deal with pop music don't understand the value of Black artists the way that they should. And we gotta fix it. And I think the plan is to be able to, you know, get some equal playing field on both sides, to where you know, you will listen and love Black music just as much as you love your favorite, you know, white artist singing R&B. Also too, I think that most, you know, white R&B artists, they don't, in my opinion, they don't give back. You know what I'm saying? They don't give back to the art, don't give back to the creator. And no shade, it just is what it is. I mean, when, you know, there was an interview with a gentleman who wrote a lot of Elvis's hits back in the day.
Yeah.
And you know, the interviewer, and I think this was Johnny Carson or something like that, asked him, you know, have you ever met Elvis before? And he said, no, I never met Elvis. And to me, that's sad that, you know, an artist is being used for their gift and their talent, but not getting the proper platform that they need. And when I tell you, when this guy sung, he sounded better than Elvis, but almost like you can tell where Elvis got it from.
Oh yeah, it's been like that for a while with a lot of artists.
Absolutely.
Did you hear about? I was even how they was talking about Little Richard, man. He paved the way for a lot of people.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's the godfather of rock and roll. You know, him, Chubby Checker. You know what I'm saying? These guys invented the sound that was taken and changed and remixed, but it's still the same thing. And I think that's what R&B. You know, R&B is one of those art forms that's taken by every genre, country music as well. And I would, you know, they have to start giving back to the art, give back to the creator. And I think this is a perfect time. Obviously, you see the world is changing. People are fighting for equality all across the board. So I think and hope that music will be the same way.
I mean, even with Little Richard, like, okay, he's the godfather of rock and roll, but I mean, how many Black rock and roll groups do you know? I don't even know one. So how is he the godfather? But then we don't have no, like I said, it kind of, you already see what happened with rock and roll. So then it's kind of same thing that happened to R&B, same thing that happened with hip hop. So yeah, I think we got to do a better job of keeping it together.
Yeah.
All right, then what are some of your interests outside of music?
Man, I love business, man. You know, been in the business, doing business for a while. Like I said, with this label is extremely important to me. Seeing other artists kind of live out their dreams and following their path in music is super important to me. I actually have a songwriting masterclass as well, where people can go online and learn about how I, you know, create music. As far as hobbies go, I don't have too many hobbies. I got like 3 kids and a wife, so I really don't got time for anything else.
You got 3 kids? You said like 3 kids.
I got 3 kids.
Oh, you said I got like 3 kids. Okay. I was like, you got one.
Oh no, I got 3. So that keeps me pretty busy. But you know, honestly, I just love music so much and doing different facets in the music.
But what do you love about music?
What do I love about music? I love that I can be free to be myself. I don't have to work a job that I don't like. I don't have to be boxed in. I paid my dues a long time ago where I told myself I would not work a regular job if I was really going to take this seriously. And that was 15 years ago. And, you know, I never worked a job since because I knew this was something I always wanted to do. And it was
how many years did it take you to get there? Where you like, so what year did you think like?
When I took it seriously, it took 5 years. So I started singing on the streets of LA and the beach, Santa Monica. and it was 5 years before anyone noticed and started paying attention in that regard.
You were singing on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
How long you was doing that for?
5 years.
5 years. How long? How many days?
4 days a week. 5 days a week,
Oh.
somewhere right there. I would take the weekends off, but 5 days a week. And yeah, different places, spots. You know, I have a tip jar, and work. You know, kill it.
How many hours you was doing that for?
6 hours a day.
Damn, that's cool. What you singing? Is everything?
Doo-wop. I mean, you name it. You know, I try to cater towards what was on the radio. You know, because obviously more people who pass by, if they hear something that sounds familiar and you sound halfway decent, then they'll give you some money. You know what I'm saying? But also too, I try to do the greats, do the My Girls and the, you know, the Smokey Robinson records and all those things too.
What made you do that?
Exposure.
I was
doing it in Savannah. Actually, a good friend of mine named Justin. He was one of the people who first put me on to like Busking and was like, yo, you can, you know, if you got a voice, you could get people to stop and get people to give. So that's what I did in Savannah. And I did that for like 4 or 5 years prior to coming to LA. And I realized it was working.
So then how did you go from that to this? That's like a whole nother step. That's talking about quantum jumping. That's a quantum jump.
Well, it all connected by just someone seeing me on the pier, seeing me and my brother on the pier and said, hey, you got talent. Let's see what we can do. And then I went to Atlantic Records, had a meeting at Atlantic Records, and then that was it.
Man, where your movie at? You ain't gonna have no movie or nothing? That's like a movie or something.
Eventually. You know, I got more living to do, but when I tell you it would be a crazy story. You know, I've contemplated on putting a book together because there's so many just things in my life that I've experienced that I hopefully can help others with it.
Can you give us one interesting story? Because people said they want me to start asking that. So give us one story.
Celebrity story? What? Life story? What?
You say interesting story.
Interesting story. All right. I'll tell you a story. So one day I'm singing in Burbank and, you know, singing like Chris Brown With You or something like that. So we see this little girl come up to where I'm singing. She's just looking at me and staring, and she's just kind of nodding her head. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And, you know, she didn't put any money in, but she was just sitting and nodding her head. And then she just runs back to wherever she was at. She kind of got out of my line of sight. And the next thing you know, she comes back with her sister. And her sister, at the time, I didn't know this, but it was Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus. So Miley Cyrus is listening, and then she gives some money. And then she waits till I'm done singing, and she goes, hey, what's up? My name is Miley Cyrus. I work over at Disney. I want to let you know that I think your voice is amazing, and I would love to be able to, you know, see if I can help you guys get something happening at Disney. And I was like, okay, cool. And she said, well, let me take your number and I'll call you back. And I mean, I'll get in touch with you. So at the time I'm thinking everybody says that, you know, because at the prior times before we've had people say, let me get your number, or I'm gonna see what I can do for you. And it never happens. So I went to the gas station. I got done singing, went to the gas station, pumping the gas. I get a call and it's a 818 number, and I didn't know the number. So something said, just pick up the number, pick up the phone call. Picked it up. I said, hello. She goes, hey, what's up? This is Miley. I'm like, oh, what's up, Miley? She goes, yeah, I just want to let you know I was serious. Here's my number. Lock me in. I got you set up with a studio session in a couple days. Can you make it? I said, yeah, I can make it. So me and my brother go from, you know, just singing on the street to being in a studio session at what, you know, Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, whatever you want to call it at the time. And she just goes, you know, I think you're amazing. I think you're talented. You got something special. I did a song right then and there in that studio. And to this day, she has just been super cool and supportive of the journey that I've been on and the success that I've had.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So was you with her when she was twerking and everything too?
No, I was not with her when she was No. But it was cool to see, you know, for people like that to give you props and go, hey, I knew you were special. Because everything is all about a gut. You get a gut feeling about anything. If you see something that you like, or you go, you know, or you see a person that you think has talent, you just take a chance. And just to know that her chance was right was really cool.
So what would you tell anybody kind of going through, because you kind of just went like, it's like full circle. So what would you tell like a new artist now that's kind of like, I guess if you was that person now, somebody at the beach singing or something like that,
Yeah.
you tell them?
I would say, man, consistency. You know, the more you do something, right, the better you'll be at it, and at the same time, the more you'll be impervious to quitting. You know what I'm saying? It won't bother you when you see other people falling off and not doing something. But if you stay active and stay on it and stay diligent, you're going to be able to attain. And I saw an interview with Nipsey Hussle, and he was talking about the only thing that was different for me was I didn't quit. Right. And I would probably say that to everybody that's listening and just watching, is not quitting is the key element. It's not rocket science. If you just don't quit, you'll be able to get further in where you're trying to go.
But I was gonna say, the only thing, like, I think he left out on that part is like, some people, they don't quit, but then they don't improve. So it's like, you can't just keep doing it, but then you just don't improve.
Well, I don't know. I think I think it's kind of impossible to not quit and not be better. I feel like you. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. You can't go from some people. Excuse me. You can't. Some people can't go from, you know, a terrible rapper to Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? But the more you do things, the needle moves a little bit. And for some people, I mean, I've met artists who, you know, said, yo, I used to suck back in the day, and now I can sing, you know, with the best of them. So, you know, I think it all helps, but not quitting is definitely going to be worse.
So maybe they're not putting enough time into it. Like, cause, you know, some people, they say, oh, I've been doing it for 10 years. But when you really look at, like, have you really, like, okay, 10 years, but how much time did you spend on each day? That's like when I asked you, I was like, how much time did you spend singing each day? Absolutely. You know, some people, they might say, oh, I do it every day. But when you look at it, they spend like 1 day a week.
Yeah, I think it's the 10,000 hour rule. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, you know, if you put in the hours, you can't help but get better. You know what I'm saying? It's inevitable.
All right. What would you like to say to your fans and supporters?
I would just like to say thank you. And then also, you know, check out my new single, Do It Again. The lyric video is up right now at the moment. And just, I appreciate you walking with me on this journey and just being so supportive. I'm actually on live right now. Shout out to my people, my fans. Yeah, just stay tuned. There's going to be great things on the way.
All right, man. I want to say thanks for coming through Politicking with me.
Oh, of course, man. Thank you for having me. I love your platform, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're going to have to link up again, man.
Thanks, bro.
I think your whole angle is different, man. You got to give them the Pursuit of Happiness angle, man. You got to play that angle, man. You got to come out with documentary, motivational tapes, all that. That's
all that, man. Bro.
Even I don't know if you know Michael Collier. He used to do the same thing. He used to go to Venice Beach and he used to do stand up.
Yeah, man. I've seen several artists, comedians, artists, whatever. Just, you know, you start out that way, singing on the streets, man, and doing their thing on the streets. So it's effective.
All right, man. What's your social media again?
Everything is Jackie's Boy. JACKIESBOY.
Man, that's your mom, right?
Yeah, my mom. Her name was Jackie.
Yeah. Get this.